Hey y'all, I'm Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
And you're listening to Box number 512 podcast.
Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. Changing your world one conversation at a time.
The show begins now. Welcome to another installment of Box number 512 podcast. I am your co-host, Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
So let's get into updates. I will go first. No really major developments since last week. Work is better. I'm working on a Supreme Court or cases going to the Supreme Court. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. And
Congratulations.
I'm really excited about that. Still looking for a job after this particular job ends. So I had a couple of interviews this week. I'm hoping for the best. It would be really nice to know something as soon as possible, just so I can have my ducks in order, because I'm very that type of girl. But I'm just committed to finding somewhere where I fit, where I'm supposed to be there, and I'll have a good experience.
Right.
Also, I've been more active on Clubhouse, so shout out to the Clubhouse users. If you want to follow me on Clubhouse, make sure you go. You can search me. I'm under TS Biggie Smalls. I really only come on there when it's like trans-related rooms. Mm-hmm. So I know Hope has conversations and Shea Diamonds has conversations. So I'm really only active when it's like a really, really, really hot trans conversation. And I just been having fun, kikiing with my trans family, promoting the podcast, and correcting hoteppy niggas. They try to act like they don't know what transness is, or they don't know how to be allies for trans people. So I just had fun. And I'm thinking about starting a room, and it's going to be called Cis Women Who Peg Their Men. Is it cultural appropriation of trans women? And
all right, girl. That's gonna be a conversation.
Right. It was just like, oh, shout out to everybody that came to I did like an impromptu Instagram live on my personal page on Instagram, Brianna J Esquire. And honey, it was a key. We listened to old school R&B music that was given like, this is a message for the trans girls. It speaks to the trans woman experience. Y'all came in, we showed out. I just slipped on some wine. We had fun. I'm thinking of doing it at some point this weekend, just lip syncing and kikiing. Shout out to my sister Stephanie, who went to Morgan State, another one of my sisters. And we just had a good time. And I got a really, really moving message from somebody that watched the live and said that it really helped them out of a depression. And that's all I really wanted, to just create a vibe and create a space for us to have fun with each other and for y'all to really get into my personality and see my likes. So we had fun. And then I feel like I did another live like the day before, and it was me, and I went live with the Marsha's Plate. And bitch, it was the fucking key cat. Like me and Diamond were on live from like 1 a.m. to like 5 a.m, bitch, just keying and talking about just the most randomest topics, and we talk about why we don't see any post-op porn, and the conversation. And that's Diamond is who inspired the is it cultural appropriation when cis women peg their pieces, because it's like, Miss Thing, that is our lane. That's what we do. And if y'all take everything from us, what can we have as trans women? And y'all are in our lane. So bitch, we were just on there keying, bitch, being drunk. So I really appreciate y'all for sharing y'all weekend with me. And we had a good time, and I want to have some more good times until we are able to be together in person again. So sis, what are your updates?
Oh my gosh. So
I have been really, really good. I feel like I'm evolving in my leadership capabilities. I feel like I'm on the beginning of new horizons. I feel like our podcast flow has been really, really good. I know that some of you guys who are our Patreons, y'all are gonna get a good treat. Brianna and I have been in the kitchen cooking, and that's been exciting. Um, to your point about Clubhouse, I have been also on Clubhouse, and I'm definitely not as active as Brianna, but I pop in here and there, and I love listening. I'm more of a list. I find that platform I like listening. Um, but occasionally I have gone on a panel or two, and I will say that it's interesting. It's to have like what we would ordinarily a conversation that maybe like at a conference, but have that at like a trans conference, like where we're having like inter community dialogue, but to then look in the audience and just see just random folk listening. It's just powerful because it also lets me know that people are trying to seek information, that people are trying to at least try to engage. And I feel like what I love about platform is you can be a voyeur and get knowledge. I sat in on a podcast, or excuse me, a room. I sat in on a room that was about hostage FBI tactical negotiation, girl, and got my life. Learned so much in general with people about how to negotiate and help people see alternatives and help them see what is better for them to choose versus the lesser alternative. So it was really interesting, and
Getting more holes than a fishnet.
yeah, yes, bitch. Very that Tussie, but for real, like I am excited for Clubhouse. I think it is going to be a portal of knowledge. I feel like if I had money to invest, now's the time. I do feel like this is going to take off.
It's an excellent promotional tool.
Oh my God, it is.
I feel like our followers on Instagram and just the interest in our podcast, especially when I get on the larger platforms talking about transness, like our follows go up and people are just drawn to the podcast. So
definitely, definitely, definitely. And from that, I've reconnected with people that I've met that I knew professionally, and it might turn into a speaking engagement. So shout out to Clubhouse.
right.
But yeah, that's my update. Just enjoying the internet, relaxing, trying to hold it in the road, being a businesswoman, a boss, as they say. So it is what it is. But I don't really have a lot going on right now because of COVID. I will be doing some travel soon, and we'll see. But for right now, just chilling, just chilling.
So before we get into our main topic, just want to remind y'all again that our year anniversary is approaching. And in lieu of our year anniversary, we definitely want you guys to email us written messages or 1 minute voice messages telling us how Box Number 512 podcast has impacted you as a listener, and we will include them in our 1 year anniversary special that will drop around our 1 year anniversary. So I believe the cutoff date to send those in is like Sunday, March the 15th. And if you go to our social media page, I'll be sharing the promotional flyer until the cutoff date. So make sure you go to our Box Number 512 podcast Twitter and Instagram pages. But again, send those letters, send those video messages to Box Number 512 podcast at gmail.com. That's BOXNO 512 PODCAST at gmail.com. Our email is included in the show notes for the show. So yeah, we have time flies when you're having fun, and it really does not feel like we've been doing this for a year.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's been a joy. It's been one of my crown. I will say already, just this experience of doing this with you, it's going to be one of my life successes. Like I really am excited that there's this content this evolution of us as human beings out there in the world. So this is exciting. So to transition into our topic today, um, recently on social media, and there has been, and so wait, I want to start with a greater, let me go broader before I even get into the topic. Transitioning is an individual process that is very personal. Definitions and how one defines themselves is individual. Womanhood and manhood shows up in the space differently depending on the human being that shows up. And so as we go into this talk, know that what we're not in all saying, what we're not doing is making our experience everyone else's experiences. We're only sharing how we feel about a phenomenon that's happening in our community regarding transitioning and folks who transition, how they be when they transition, and then how inevitably some people detransition. So in social media this last week, there has been a bit of a kerfluffle. Apparently, and I'm not going to use her name, but a known trans advocate has detransitioned. And not detransitioned as in like quietly, I made a decision for myself and it's very personal, like I was saying earlier, and I have made this personal choice. This person rather has detransitioned, become a Black Israelite, and in the span of a month, is a man of God who has been given a calling to condemn transsexuality and to condemn the evil perversion of his lifestyle that he was living before he became a Black Israelite. And to the point where it's caused a rift in community. So he released a video, and I'm saying he now because this person is detransitioned and they a man, and we're gonna call him a man. This man put up a video mansplaining about how our life lived experiences as a woman aren't real because he tried it. It didn't work for him. And while being a woman, or pretending to be a woman is what he said he was doing, while pretending to be a woman, he was a liar. He passed HIV to people and didn't tell them. He was raped several times and enjoyed it because as pervert, he just felt like that was hot. He was a liar and lied to so many people in his life to get money for transition. He prostituted himself willingly, raw, without telling people. And all of these, under the guise that he was negative. And all of these things he is blaming on his evil ways. All of his evil ways, he's blaming on his transition.
She did a lot of stuff in the wheelchair.
She's coming for us, but he's coming for us. But he's completely peeled in the video. In his first coming out video, he's completely peeled, and he often is like letting sermons play, and it's like this real creepy, looking real sad into the camera while a sermon condemns him, and then he turns the sermon off and then starts saying, horrible shit about community. And several other communities. So for those of you who are familiar and do follow the Zeitgeist on Facebook, you already know about this story because Niambi Stanley and Miko Hicks have also covered this. So this is something that has really affected community. I mean, because this was somebody that as a trans woman, or as someone that identified as trans at one time, the artist formerly known as trans, they felt like they were the one, judged other trans women for not wanting to have surgeries, was very post-op or nothing, post-op or bust. Now, a part of the rumor mill is also that, there's a bit of jadedness because there was an attempt to get a surgery and there wasn't much to work with to make the surgery work. Now that just might be rumor, but that might be part of what the bitterness is. I don't know. But the bottom line is this person went from being an advocate, a pro-Black advocate, to now saying, saying we're anti-Black. The person also goes on to say that we, Black trans people, are anti-Black because we're taking away from the Black movement. So he's now completely the other direction. And I wanted to bring that into the space because this is not the first.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Box Number 512 Podcast, Grown Black Trans Women Talk.
And don't forget to become a patron on the Box Number 512 Patreon page, where we have all new exclusive content.
And also, don't forget to follow us on our social media, on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. And also, become a subscriber on our YouTube page. Until next time, bye.